Now we have two psychological battles that we're fighting against white folk. We won one. They told us that we should hate Malcolm X. We dumped that, thank God. Now the second battle that we're now fighting is whether or not we will have the right to use the terms to decide how our movement is going to go. They don't want us to use black power. I got news for them. Because what black power was supposed to do was to start bringing black people together under a slogan that everyone understood. But what in fact is done is it's organized white people and their Negro allies. Now, we have to talk about the rebellion in Chicago. And we have to say, you see, Richard Daley, baby, don't you put none of our boys in jail and charge them with treason, because you deserve to be charged with treason. You deserve to be charged with treason, because anytime you force people to live that way, you deserve to be charged with treason. You are guilty, not us. You are guilty. Yes, we have to start putting the blame where it belongs. We got to stop saying we lazy, because, baby, it's our sweat that built this country while they ride around in We have to stop saying that we are apathetic, because I'm going to define that word for you. Apathy means that you won't work on a program that I tell you will help you. Because, baby, when college students leave a good job and go to Mississippi to organize their people, that ain't hardly apathy. And when people get together in Watts and in Chicago and organize a rebellion, that ain't hardly apathy. Now, these liberal congressmen got up the other day on television and they said to the North Vietnamese, now listen, fellas, we have been for you all the time, but now if you mess we have been for you all the time, but if you mess with our racist fellas, we're going to have to take care of you. That's what he was saying. That's what Church was saying when he said, I am begging the North Vietnamese not to bother our pilots because you're going to ask us to bomb you. He ought to be talking to this racist country and telling them not to bomb Vietnam. That's what he ought to be talking. And you have to watch the way it operates inside this country. Because what they say to us is that we are for you, but don't forget you're 10% of the population. And if you get smart, we'll wipe you out. Now, if we talk about true equality, then we have to move to a position where we can define.
Thank you, my friend.
We have to tell our black brothers who are graduated from colleges that to be successful is not to get a job with IBM or Wall Street, but we have to define success for them, and we have to say that to be successful is to come back into your community and not only in this country, but across the world. Now, there have been a group of so-called liberal congressmen who've been opposing the war in Vietnam. Notice they call it the war in Vietnam. Now, it seems that this country, on their side, has started to drop bombs on the Vietnamese in Hanoi. And what the Vietnamese said is that when we catch your pilots, we're going to hold them in our court, not your court, our court. We have to explain to them that every time we yell, the man grabs him and says, everything is okay. He's splitting us again. We got to tell him.
That's right.
We've got to tell him. And we have to say to him that, baby, Ralph Bunch may make $1,000, but the food he eats don't feed my belly. So he is not helping his race. He is helping their race. We're going to start to define and face their own lies. Yes, the lies that they talk about. Amen. Miss Simone says something very significant in her song, Mississippi Goddamn. She says, this country is built on lies. They told you and me that if we worked hard and if we sweated, that we would succeed and become rich. And if that were true, I tell you, we would own this country. I tell you, we would own this country. We have to tell them that Rockefeller ain't never lifted a finger in his life, and neither did Bobby Kennedy. And neither did Bobby Kennedy. And the reason that we are the way we are is because they did it, not we ourselves. We are not inherently bad. You have oppressed us. You went to Africa with the Bible. We had the land. When you left Africa, you had the land and we had the Bible. Now we have to explain to our people that this individual nonsense cannot do for us, because they will preach that individual nonsense and we will believe it and keep integrating their Wall Streets. We have to make a new slogan: one people, one voice. And we have to move as a people in our neighborhood to control. We have to stop reacting and we have to become aggressive. We can no longer stand up and beg anybody for a victory or a concession. Because I'm here to tell you that if you beg a man for a victory, he gives it to you. It's his victory, not yours. We have to decide where the battleground is going to be, how the war is going to be waged, and when we win the victory, remember, to the victor belongs the spoil, and we're going to take it all. That's why black people have to organize independently. And even if they decide to move into one of the major parties, we will be together as black people. And we have to be together whether we like it or not, because the only reason we're oppressed is because we're black. And that's why our rallying cry